foremost, give thanks, thank you, gratitude to all of you that are here in a good spirit. We feel the energy. Don't think that this is something only from this side and the other side is watching. It's a communication, it's a dialogue. So we feel the energy. I and I, the Rastafari family, feel the energy of all of you. People that come in light heart, good spirit, respect, compassion, in devotion, in godliness. Yes, this is what we receive. So this is not a one-way thing. It's not only we giving and you receiving, not at all. It's a two-way, it's a dialogue, it's a relationship. And this is exactly why we're here. The House of Rastafari is here to share the love of Rastafari, awareness, to share elements of the Rastafari tradition that can improve each and everyone's life. So we are blessed to be here with a new title today, with a new topic, with a new conference. Because remember, the topic of this year is utopia, from utopia to new creation, from utopia to reality. What is this new creation? The new creation in the Rastafari tradition is not another world, it's not another planet, it's not dying and going to heaven. The new creation is when the same world, the same planet, your same life, your same house gets renewed. It becomes new, it's new again. It's like a rebirth. So new creation means that we start to see this life, to observe it and to live it with new eyes, with a new spirit, renewed in the spirit, renewed in the mindset. So this is the new creation that Rastafari is chanting about since almost a century now. And even before the birth of the Rastafari movement, ancient prophets, the matriarchs, the patriarchs, from back then, we're talking about this new creation. This is exactly the focus point of the entire Bible. Every religion, every philosophy, every spiritual practice is to be born again. To be born again, it does not mean to be born in another flesh, but to make sure that this reality start to look different. How can we do that? When we renew our mind, when we renew our spirit. So it's all about the work that we choose to do or not to do. Is heaven on earth or is hell on earth? So the choice is yours, the choice is ours. So today we're gonna talk about a special, unique page of the Rastafari book. And this is the history of Pinnacle. Pinnacle is the biggest self-reliant, independent community formed by Rastafari brothers and sisters in Jamaica, in a pre-colonial Jamaica. We're talking about between the 40s, the 50s, up to mid-50s of the last century. So this community of Pinnacle remained unique in history because thousands of Rasta left the city and relocated up on the hill to live independently, to live free from the oppression of society, police, army, government, establishment, and so forth. So there is a peculiar figure in this narration. This is Leonard Percival Howell, which is considered by most books about Rastafari the first Rasta, or anyway amongst the early Rastafari patriarchs. The first ones that claimed, that stated that Haile Selassie I was the returned Messiah. Leonard Percival Howell, also known by the people by the name of the Gong. So if you know Bob Marley as Top Gong, yeah, he took the name by the first original Gong, which is Leonard Percival Howell. Leonard Percival Howell motivated thousands of Rastafari people to leave the city and relocate up on the hills of Pinnacle. So now we're gonna start reading through the pages. We're gonna see what took us to Pinnacle, how was life in Pinnacle, how the relocation up in Pinnacle took place, how people was living, and the good days and the dark days of Pinnacle. So please let me introduce Iqulah Rastafari, and I panelists, beloved elder, greetings and love, Rastafari blessings. Iqulah Rastafari, yes, 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 family. And Ras Ibi, Ras Ibi from yes, from many years here with I and I, straight from Arba Minch. Yes, yeah. Well, he's not arrived now from Arba Minch. He arrived a couple of days. So we give thanks and praises for the presence of the elders there. And make we start this conversation about Pinnacle with a blessing from Ras Iqulah and Ras Ibi to the people then.
Behold how good and how pleasant it is for a united to dwell together in unity. Rastafari blessings all the way, more strength, more power, I more unity, I more love, one Jah, one aim, one destiny. I and I the optimist stand strong in physical endurance and mental stability and spiritual grace because we are confident in Jah victory and good over evil. Jah! Jah! Xavier Masga, Alia. Jah! Rastafari, how good and pleasant, yes. Give thanks for a new day, give thanks for the new vibes, give thanks for the uprising. All the blessed Irish have come together once again to share the vibes, because this would be nothing without the item, yes? So give thanks for all your presence. Rastafari.
Aye, yes. So we're looking at how utopia becomes reality. Not philosophically, spiritually, but tangible reality. People live in the city and creating an independent, self-reliant, free Rastafari community, which lasted for many years and which achieved incredible victories and results. So we're gonna look into this. So this is a story that is good to hear from start until the end. Yeah, so please hold your seat, don't go nowhere, because you will be surprised about what Pinnacle in 15 years time more or less had achieved, and how distressed was the local government, the establishment about the power that Pinnacle gained in those years. So the title is Vision of Reality. We're just gonna give a little background, historical background, so that then we can understand even better what Pinnacle was and why and how and when and where, right? So the vision of reality, importance of Pinnacle, this greatest Rastafari independent community. The question behind this topic is it possible to build a functioning society on an utopian model? So utopia comes back. In 1940, Leonard Howell inaugurated the Rastafari community in Pinnacle, Jamaica. Pinnacle is a hill with a splendid view above the ocean, where the Rastafari people could finally live far from Babylon, from the oppression of police, the brutality and the stigma that Rastafari was experiencing in those years. So we're talking about the mid-30s, yeah, crucial time, the second part of the 30s, yeah? So, a utopia that became a tangible reality, a paradise on earth where they could live, finally, according to the principle of the Rastafari faith, freedom, respect, community, and peace, sovereignty. So, keep in mind this word, sovereignty, because this is gonna be the backbone of this conversation here. Sovereignty of your life, your destiny. Gain your independence, gain your freedom, gain your capacity to act and to be master of your fate. This would soon become the largest independent Rastafari community in history, but also the greatest example of an alternative society in colonial Jamaica. So please remember, Jamaica will be independent only in August 1962. So this is way before that. This is a colonial Jamaica, where racism, oppression is the order of the day, where there is a very small minority of people which rules over a majority of people. And it turns out that the small minority of people is either white, or European descendant or somehow connected to that heritage, where the vast majority of the people is instead descendant of the slave trade, so descendant of the Africans brought from the Mama Land to the Caribbean. Yeah? A revolutionary reality that would grow to the point of being seen as a threat to the social and economic balance of the nation. So in this panel we will take a walk through the small alleys, the small roads, these small streets in Pinnacle, and see what really happened. Small historical context, background. 1916, Marcus Garvey leaves Jamaica. And we want to dedicate even just a second this special day concerning Marcus Garvey, Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Ras Iqulah, I want to say something?
Yes, give thanks, Ras Julio. I do give thanks that I acknowledge the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey as one of I forerunner from such time. So, give thanks again. This is the Earth Day of the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Ja! Rastafari. Give thanks. One love.
Okay, so just to give a context, what's happening in Jamaica in this time? 1916, Marcus Garvey leaves Jamaica. So something really changed on the island. But in the meantime, there is a ferment, there is a messianic, there is a prophetical activity in Jamaica. In other words, many once and ones are prophetically announcing that soon the Messiah will arrive, and he will not be white with blue eyes and blonde hair, but he will be an African. So this is the time in which we see the Baptist movement, the Baptist church, the Baptist groups announcing that soon the Messiah is coming, is coming. So it's a very deep and intense time in Jamaica, but for the world at large. 1924, Reverend Webb, a black man will be the coming universal king. This is the title of this booklet the Reverend Webb publishes in 1924. The Daily Gleaner speaks of publications of Ethiopian religion, still in 1924. The Daily Gleaner, famous Jamaican paper, speaks about these strange publications about what they call Ethiopian religion. So something is really changing here, something is really going on. 1924, the Holy Pipi, Robert Atlee Rogers, what is called the Black Man Bible, another very important document for the black independent Ethiopianist Messianic Baptist vision. Yes? 1926, the Royal Parchment Scroll of Black Supremacy by Reverend Ballantyne. 1930, finally, the grand coronation of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I, and the news reaches Jamaica. Then starts what is called the Bible search. Yeah, in the ghetto, in the countryside. These people, they start to search in the Bible to see if this happening, this event that took place in Ethiopia, 2nd of November 1930, could be really the fulfillment of the sacred holy prophecies that the Bible speaks of. So these first groups of Christians, they are Christians, but they have a free mind, they have anti-colonial mentality, they have a free spirit, they are critics, they are free thinkers. They start to search in the Bible because they know the Bible by heart. And the Bible says, when the lineage of David will come back on the throne, to sit on the throne, that will be Christ come back for his final time. So they start to research, and they find out that yes, the prophecies, they are fulfilled with the coronation of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I. So between 30 and 1933, something like that, Rastafari movement, we could say, is definitely born. So we have Howell, we have Joseph Hibbert, Archibald Dunkley, Robert Hines. These are the four names that the Rastafari history books speak about. These are the forefathers of the Rastafari movement. They are ex-Garveyites. They are travelers. They know new cultures. They have been traveling out of Jamaica. They are spiritual people. but they have this anti-colonial mindset. And we have very few info about these patriarchs, but the little that we know is absolutely fascinating. After traveling around the world, they returned to Jamaica, and they are not in connection with each other. They found separate groups, and they start preaching the Black Messiah. Howell in West Kingston, Hibbert and Hines in St. Andrew, Dunkley in Port Antonio. By 1934, we have Rastafari groups in Kingston. Sources state that we have Rastafari groups active in Kingston by 1934. So this is the fullness of time. So if we read through the pages of history, we see that these are really the times of revelation. The economy is really poor. These people are ex-slaves. There is a social depression. There is a lot of racism and oppression. There is also a hurricane which come and sweep a good part of Jamaica. So there is a lot of ignorance as well, poor education, and above everything else, there is what we could define a search, a seeking for identity. That's why the Rastafari message of the Lion of Judah shall break every chain come just like a thunder in a quiet night, preaching evangelization around the entire islands. We have these groups moving around and talking and sharing the message of Rastafari. So we have Leonard Percival Howell, born in 1898 in the parish of Clarendon. He's the first of 10 children. He goes through a military life. He attends in the Panama War. He's part of the US Army. October 28, 1918, states that he is an American citizen. He goes through different jobs after leaving the army. We are talking about New York, the Harlem in the 20s, black socialism, Harlem Renaissance. Howell and Garvey are friends in New York. They see each other, they are in communication. And Howell then goes back to Jamaica and starts preaching the message, the gospel of Rastafari. So what happened now? That Jamaica started to realize that this Rastafari movement is really, really strong and it could potentially be a threat to the system. By 1934, the Rastafari gatherings are prohibited. They are forbidden. Only 5 years after, maybe even less, the birth of the Rastafari movement, the Rastafari groups gatherings, they are forbidden. There is a report by 1935 that says Rastafari cults excite Portlanders. Portlanders are the inhabitants of Port Antonio. So there is what is called by the news a Rasta invasion. Everywhere is Rastafari. Small groups, big groups, man, woman, child, everybody is excited about this new gospel. Howell is the president of the King of Kings mission. And in 1937, 6th of January, there is what is called the Big Love Feast. It's a gathering, trucks full of Rastafari gathering in this home up on the hills of Jamaica. By 1938, Leonard Percival Howell is interned in the Bellevue Asylum and comes out in 39. So this is very important. When the Jamaica government wanted to get rid of somebody and could not arrest him because maybe he did not break the law, then they would intern him in the mental asylum, like saying that he was crazy. So he needs medication because he's not sane in his mind. So they just lock him in the Bellevue, in the mental asylum. Rasta meetings are prohibited. Howell buys a piece of land, which is Pinnacle. And the 7th of January 1940, which is Ethiopian Gena, Ethiopian Christmas, during the night, Leonard Percival Howell announces in front of 500 people that soon land for the Rastafari brethren and sisters will be available. And Pinnacle had become the utopian example of collective self-determination. People start to arriving. They leave back everything. They sell their houses, they sell their belongings, and they just relocate on Pinnacle. Initially, women outnumber men. Doctors, artisans, there are professionals, skillmen. Is an alternative economy. It was spring. And when summer arrives, they had to track down Rio Cobre because there was a lack of water. Pinnacle is a very arid part of Jamaica. Why? Because the soil is made of stone, is a limestone. Thank you. Is limestone, so it absorbs the water. So you cannot really water any farm because the water goes down, because underneath is all limestone. It's very porous. So the brethren had to start work very, very hard in order to make sure that farming could be possible. We have 20 cooks every day cooking for hundreds and hundreds of people. This is only the first year, very rough. People start to also to get sick, of course, so you have to have doctors, natural medicine is there. By 1931, there is the first raid by the police. The police started to be very, very suspicious of what was going on, on Pinnacles. So they started to come and check it out. The first raid, 1941, tests the spirit of the Rastafari brothers and sisters, but does not break it. That's why the golden era of Pinnacle had just started. Started in 1940, we are in 1941. After the first test by the police, the Pinnacle Society understands that farming, producing your own crops, is the way forward. And this is the beginning of what is remembered as the golden era of the independent community of Pinnacle. So this was a small historical background just to understand what we are talking about. Now I would love to leave the mic to the elders to go through and articulate Pinnacle, the vision of reality. Eyes is eye, eyes is eye, eyes is eye. Iqulah Rastafari DI as something, and I was vibesing, and I was reasoning, and Iqulah Rastafari has something to bring on the table, very, very important, about this great revolution which is called Pinnacle.
Yes, give thanks and praise to Ras Julio. Yes, as I and I talk about Pinnacle as a full sustainable project that was established by the Honorable Leonard Howell, Rastafari. Pinnacle, the source, protecting the source. I and I, the children of enslaved people, not by their will, but by the hands of inhumane impostors, the colonial invaders. They rob, rape, kill, torture, and destroy all they could. So that's how I and I ended up in the West, the diaspora. For over 400 years of pain, oppression, the cry of the people was finally answered. Through the divine connection of two of our ancient stalwarts, the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and our beloved legend, the Honorable Leonard Percival Howell, the first man to declare that Haile Selassie I is our Redeemer and Savior. And with such mystical revelation, he established a full sustainable community with everything, you name it, called the Pinnacle. That was and still is the blueprint of the future, Sila. So along the journey, Pinnacle was destroyed by the same evil forces of Babylon in 1954. So ones and ones had to flee to smaller communities, little pockets here and there around the island, but the major cry was repatriation. From then until now, with little survival tactics just to stay alive for the mission. So when it comes to our elders that are in need, their emphasis was not placed on building empires in the West. It was about the word, strictly to edify the people about the teachings of Kalamawi Haile Selassie I. Our elders put their lives on the line as a living sacrifice for building a true source and feeding tree of love for humanity. Now the world is feeding from Ayanai, the stone that the builder refuses, the true source of Rastafari groundation, Sila. So like I said, Pinnacle is still a good blueprint for the future development, Sila. So Ayanai are sitting here today through the divine grace of Kalamawi Haile Selassie I, expressing our deepest gratitude for our elders that stood up against the beast, fighting for black man's redemption that now becomes the people's liberation. One job, one aim, one destiny. Pinnacle, one of the greatest blueprints of all time, Sealer. That was inspired, and that inspired I also to flee to the hills to establish agriculture. Rastafari. Blessings.
Give thanks, Ras Iqulah. Wow, beautiful, beautiful. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
So Pinnacle, yeah, from them time until now. And if I and I as a people can come together collectively, seeing we can accomplish a lot. Seeing? So unity, as His Majesty say, unity is the only accepted goal. Seeing? Rastafari, left, Majesty.
Aye, Thanksgiving. Yeah, Pinnacle life now, it was a man who moved there and woman too. They did not pay tax. They come out. Leonard Howell was sentenced to prison and madhouse because he proclaimed that the people should not pay taxes to the Queen of England. They should give glory to the King of Kings of Ethiopia. And he set a society up there where everyone contribute according to their powers and inspiration. Pinnacle hosted a lot of different artisans. There were shoemakers, broom makers, bakers, builders, all kind of artisans. And they could spend a week or two making shoes and then go downtown and sell them and bring back the profits. Keep their share, but adding something to the community. So the community was a very wealthy, and this was the biggest fear of the society, not just the amount of Rastaman in one place, but the economical, they break the economical chain. They was totally independent economically. So when police raided the place, they find thousands of Jamaican dollars at that time, which is a big set of money, under old woman mattress. And they try to say this comes from herb. Yes, Pinnacle, Rasta community, herb was growing there, but herb was not the only thing growing there. There was all types of crops going on. And moreover, Pinnacle, Leonard Howell and him group, they own a bakery down King Street. Everyone eat bread, right? Alright, so the bread now is a general business, day-to-day generated. All the profit went back to the community. So many times this man, he was in prison. Very many times he was in prison, and I had a unique opportunity and blessings to sit with his daughter one time, Kathy Howell, and she came to Shashimani and she had a long reason with I about her papa and the life up in Pinnacle. And one of the things we can't forget is like they lock in Leonard Howell into the mental hospital called Bellevue with the intention to kill off this man. And at the stage they're giving him electrical shocks that is so strong that him say he had to come out of his goodie, come out of his body in order to survive this. And they left him as dead because they thinking they have finished him off. And he come down in a him goodie again and walk out of the place, and the people are afraid. They say, but isn't that Mr. Howell? He's supposed to dead. So, and many times when police come to raid, they say this man was a mystic man, because through the powers he always escaped. They catch him a few times and lock him up proper, but he come out and he go back to do the same work. And through that livication of all the people, it grew to be the greatest of threat to that colonial society. We must imagine it was thousands of free people up there. Yeah? Rastafari.
Azizan. So Leonard Howell perceived his vision. The vision was to create an environment of freedom for the Rastafari nation. So we're talking about really many years before now. So try to imagine how Jamaica was at that time. Police brutality. You couldn't walk around looking like a Rasta. There were not even many dreadlocks around, but if they see you with a beard or you have a red, gold and green pin, you can be sent to jail directly or beaten up, brutalized. So the society, the reality was really harsh for I people. And I think it's important to remember these pages of history while we hear there is red, gold and green everywhere. So once again, this is a victory. And knowing this history make us even more aware and grateful for this victory that we can taste right now and we can experience, where every man is free if he wears dreadlocks, and the idle herb, the veganism, the idle food, and the bingy, the reggae music, the red, gold and green, everything is now free because of this page of history, which is Pinnacle. So, Iqulah Rastafari, yeah.
Yes, my brother. Well, you know, I must say I do give thanks for Rototom to establish something like this at the House of Rastafari, kind of a platform, because right now this is a different flex. See, but it's like the same flex in terms of I and I putting our lives on the line for the word, because this is something that we're not collecting a paycheck. This is something that we're out here making this sacrifice as a living sacrifice to give the word to the people of peace, love and unity. See? So this is a living sacrifice also. We're not getting a paycheck to do this. So give thanks for Rototom to give I and I the opportunity that the House of Rastafari can be here. That I and I are out here in the belly of the beast, giving the same teachings that Pinnacle was given to the people. So it's a different Iowa. See it? But the message is the same. So one love, peace and blessings.
Yes, I. So it's very interesting. It's very, very interesting what Ras Iqulah is saying, because this is a matter of transforming utopia into reality. So even this is transformation of utopia into a reality, a place where Rastafari ideas and way of life can circulate and can be experienced, and knowledge can be shared, and even just the colors, the picture, but also the culture, the elders, the quotations, the messages, the testimonies. So this is the manifestation of an idea, of a dream, of a vision, if you wish. So we all are capable of making the change, and the reason why we study our history is to become stronger and to know that the first Rastaman was imprisoned and almost killed and brutalized and persecuted for years and years, but still nonetheless he did not give up the fight. Then that is a teaching for all of I that I must return home to our daily lives and activate that Leonard Howell in within ourselves, in a sense. The Rastaman must live in ourselves. This example is not only celebrating the history of a man, no, it's to keeping it real, it's to keeping it alive. So Pinnacle realized that the key of the success is in farming. So started as a community that was dependent by other local farmers, so they had to go and buy the crops, but then the thing changed, the table turned, and they realized, hey, listen man, agriculture is the key. So starting from around 1943-44, the agriculture in Pinnacle became blooming, started to bloom, to the point that early 50s, the entire valley was dependent by Pinnacle crops. So the table completely changed. So now was the valley, the local people, the regular people going to buy the crops, any kind of crops, from the Pinnacle market. So we have sources, books, history say that every second day, man them from the valley, from downtown, were going up to buy the best crops, idle, grown with love, and sold to the people. So the economy of Pinnacle in almost 15 years became the strongest economy of the parish. That's why the government really had a problem with that. So this is the power of Rastafari, this is the power of the work, because one other very important thing, in the early months of Pinnacle, after the establishment, there was a local paper that was very curious about this community. So they sent up there a couple of journalists, say, hey,
please go and check out what's going on out there in Pinnacle. These Rastaman, what are they doing? So the local journalists go up there, and they arrive early in the morning. Yes, they arrive early in the morning, and they are expecting to see ceremonies, spiritual practice, worshipping, things of this matter. But they don't find any preacher, they don't find any priest, they don't find any mass or any ceremony. They just find people very busy working, sweating under the sun, working and working and working. So when the afternoon arrives, after one entire day looking for these holy experiences and holy rituals, they go to somebody and say, hey, sorry, but where are the rituals? We came up here looking for, some mystic rituals up here. We don't find nothing of that. And the man say, listen, we're here to work. Yes, of course, we have our worship time, but here the focus is working, creating an alternative reality. So this is a very important teaching for I and I. There is a time for celebrating, time for spiritual practice. But the early Rastafari community was very much focused on working, and working, because there is no freedom without economical independence. So this is very, very important for all of I and I. So by 1954, the police said, hey, enough with this. Pinnacle is too strong. There is too much money going up there. So we have to do something, because it's literally destabilizing the internal economy of Jamaica. Imagine that. We have more than 5,000 people working every day, earning money, and they are earning more money than many other parishes in Jamaica. So the government took the final and ultimate decision. It's early in the morning, and 4:30 to be precise, May 22, 1954. 110 residents received prison sentences. Pinnacle was raided and became extremely vulnerable after the raid, not to the police but to the local gangsters, that after the police raid they started to arrive, because all weapons were confiscated. The Pinnacle had no more a way to protect itself. So the final raid, 1954, that was what really, I don't want to say put an end, but close this page of history which is called Pinnacle. But we know in Rastafari everything has a continuum, and there is no end to a good thing. So what happened after that? That many once went down from Pinnacle and relocated in the ghettos, in the shanty town, and that is what is called the ghetto era, the shantytown era, from the mid-50s going up. 1958, the greatest convention took place in the ghetto in Kingston. Thousands of Rastafari. So even though Pinnacle was raided and the experience was kind of put down, but that was a new beginning for a new page of history in the Rastafari movement. So now the brethren and the sisters, they were forced to go back to the ghettos, but they recreated within the ghettos this utopian reality which they learn and experience in Pinnacle, and that is the Rasta camp. The Rasta camp is an oasis of freedom, equality, culture, learning, and taking care of each other in the heart of the ghettos, where you can be free, you can not only profess your identity, your faith, but you can live according to your own sovereignty. So everything that was experienced in Pinnacle became a blueprint for any other occasion in which Rastafari would gather and live together. So Pinnacle did not end. There was not an end to Pinnacle. There cannot be an end to such a strong thing in Rastafari. There was just a transformation, because after that many other thousands and thousands recreated that experience. Just like the Garden of Eden. What is the message? What is the message of the Garden of Eden? Adam and Eve stepping out of Eden and going around the world. Why? Stepping down. They call it the fall. It's not a fall. It's a step down. because the mission was for mankind to recreate the Garden of Eden in everything and everywhere you go. Everything you do, every occasion, every action, you recreate that primordial, utopian Garden of Eden. And that is the same principle of the tabernacle. When the people of Israel is traveling through the desert, they build the tabernacle, which is the first mobile place of worship. Yeah, that was decorated with flowers and trees, and that was the recreation, reproduction of the original Garden of Eden. When then Jerusalem is established, first temple, Solomon build the temple. Inside the temple you find floral motifs, decoration, flowers decoration, palms and nature creation. That is the original Garden of Eden. So the essence, the core, the nutshell is that everywhere we go we have the mission of recreating, reproducing, re-establish this primordial Garden of Eden. Pinnacle is an example of that. Any Rasta camp is an example of that. Any room or corner where I and I gather is an example of that. Yes, I. Eyes is I. Eyes is I. Eyes is I.
Aye, aye. So with this power now from Pinnacle, Rastaman has moved forward, and one of the greatest things is the reason why we are here. Reggae music, which come out of the Nyabingi beats. Reggae music come out, and reggae music is such a powerful music. Rasta music has done wonders in the world, have united people as well as has brought down serious barriers. South Africa, I think, is a very unique point of view here, because the reggae music was forbidden in South Africa. You sing a Peter Tosh or Bob Marley song, it's years in prison. They were afraid of this rebellious music, but the freedom fighters, this music helped them tremendously and give them power to free up that system. Yeah, they have to free up the system, and they bond down that apartheid system with roots reggae music. So it's one of those things where Rastaman has done, and the things I was mentioning it also in the early years. Red, gold, and green was, you could not bear it. You could not carry a red, gold, and green. You could have get a beating, not just from from police, but from local man too. Get a stone.
Yes, I, Rastafari. Then I and I is living testimony within the fullness of the tribe. Because I and I were the first set of youth that was kicked out of school just to carry I and I covenant and walking around with the emblem of the Most High. Seeing? So I and I give thanks to see the victory that all these atrocities and tribulation that I and I have been through as a people, I and I come see the victory right now where I and I create the collective unity among all nations, seeing the liberation, seeing, yeah, as I man said, the black man's redemption becomes the people's liberation. And at this side right now, give thanks to see the maestro, China, coming in family as a foundation, Virgin
Smith.
Yes, I.
What a joy, what a blessing.
Rastafari. Yeah, man, the maestro himself, man. Yeah, man, His Majesty. Yeah, man, the first track I'm ever doing in a studio. This is the maestro. Earl China Smith, you know, see? Yes, I give thanks, man. So, China, we just talk about the whole liberation movements of how, from them time until now, to see the growth, seeing, and the atrocities, and what I and I have been through as a people, to say the black man's redemption becomes the people's liberation. So, I give thanks to see even the maestro himself here today that participate when it comes to the foundation and the fundamental principles of establishing this music. Rastafari. Yes.
And the unity.
Yes.
You how good and how pleasant it is for our brethren to come together in unity, in one love. You understand? The old school say, the blood of Christ, but Rasta come say, one love. Come change that whole thing. And we see it out through the music. The music become the center of the whole thing. King David, as the chief musician, lead music with I and write all the songs. He gave the word and great was I to publish it. And I'm happy to see the gathering of all nations. Because every knee shall bow and every tongue confess. Yeah. And I'm seeing it more and more. And give thanks to Liberty.
Yes, sir.
I meet Liberty through a program. Because I man have a program named Bingus Trap. Start a program named in the yard and some people try to run away. Me Asian brethren, Kojo, said China do it, look on that. Move on to a movement named Bingus Trap. Alright, I want to promote the thing on a certain level and don't have money like that. Because you know, everything that we do, people take it away and we don't cry over things like that. We just know so well then the things them that them take away, people are enjoying. Yeah, all the reggae money and then we come see a festival. So I link up with my brethren from Liberty and say, you know, somebody like promote some shirt, but it's not the money thing. And some shirt, you know, some people around the world love I, but they just like some shirt prints so people can't wear all that thing. And them did it. So I have to give respect unto the brethren. See it? Liberty, because I say it going on. You know, it's Exodus. Yeah, you know, it's Genesis, Exodus, and live it. Yeah, so we have to live it. And then when we go and shop, first day, write this up. We see we have a printer, all of the Asian them, from planner, all of the one them we die them doing no way. As Iqulah got through, make a sacrifice for this movement today. Yeah. In every language. That is beautiful. Yes, sir. Yeah. When we look and see all the different nations, I carry them covenant and the color their eyes full and green. Yes, sir. It's a joy. All it will do is get better and get better. It will grow constantly. You understand? Guys, one heart. Yes, sir. Yeah, it's not the mind now, it's the heart. The heart connected. Yes, sir. It's over.
Yes, sir. And I would say, Jah be merciful unto I and hear when I call. Never uplift I and I head to be removed out of the dens of dragon liars, thief, warmongers, and sorcerer. Ever writes I and I take praises forever. I and I have been beaten for name or long name and culture. Just smite the dragon that seek I and I life and I just salvation. Just stand up for our rights, justice against the unjust rules of Rome and the abomination creators of Babylon. Jews and Gentiles of different races, just smite with the sun by day and the moon by night. I and I the optimist and strong in physical endurance and mental stability and spiritual grace, because I and I are confident in the victory of good over evil. Rastafari.
Praise your all nation, praise him all in people. For his merciful kindness is great towards us, and his truth endureth for evermore.
Give thanks, Jesse. Give thanks, Jesse.
Martina Smith, the maestro. Yes, the maestro. So I give thanks, Elder, for the high presence here with the gathering.
Yes,
where else could I be? But right here among the gathering.
And I was reasoning today about Pinnacle, the importance of the independent community. So could I give a little food for thought for the brethren and the sisters about Pinnacle? Yeah?
Pinnacle is like everything with the Rasta man have over the years. Babylon come take away. You understand? And that is one of the things. That's how with the first point of the whole movement. Yeah. You understand? Pinnacle is one of the most valuable property in Jamaica and a Rasta man own. And you know, Babylon say our things and them take it to all the while. We have to stand up strong and preserve all of them places. You understand? So right now but it still stands. We just need the unity of brethren, not just in Jamaica, but globally. That's how we are thinking. That's how liberty I think. That's how I think. Yes. Because Jamaica is just a little area. The world. Yeah. The earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. The world and they that dwell there for ye and furnished established. So within the establishment, yeah, let's come together and preserve all that is ours. Because over the years, it's have been taken away. What we can do now, in our time, to preserve our thing, the precious thing that the far right give I and I, the earth, that is him, and it's ours. So,
The preservation of ecology.
all right, so
Rastafari.
let us plant the flowers and grow, and make sure we protect our plantation.
Yes, sir.
And Pinnacle is one of those places.
His Majesty.
Haile Selassie.
Rastafari.
Give thanks for the presence. Gina Smith Foundation, history. Yes, so give thanks. Iqulah Rastafari.
Yes, sir.
Yes, brother Ras Ibi, the House of Rastafari, and of course, all of the items, all of you, beautiful, beautiful people. So when we talk about Pinnacle, we talk about sovereignty, independence. We talk about freedom. We talk about identity. The lack of identity that was filled with the presence of His Imperial Majesty and the Black Messiah and the message of liberation, freedom. Yes, sir. So before sitting up, Iqulah Rastafari.
Yeah, well, since the vibration are moving, right? Vibration moves mountain, and I man say right now, like how the people gather. Make I all stand up, see it? Lift up, stand up, see it? Get up, stand up to your right, see it? Well, you want now, I want the item participate in this little chant, you know, since the maestro is here, you know, see it? And one, come on now, one, come. Gandum, listen gandum, gandum, babirang gandum. Do you hear the voice of the Rastaman say? Rabba babirang you chun gandum, gandum, babirang you chun gandum, gandum, yes in gandum, gandum, yes in gandum. I say fly away, oh, fly away, oh. Mungu said to fly away, oh, to Zion, fly away, oh. Mungu said down one bright morning, when thy work is over, I will fly away, oh. Yes, I saw the angels with the seven seas. Rabba babirang im chun gandum, gandum, babirang im chun gandum, gandum, yes in gandum, gandum, yes in gandum, gandum, yes in gandum. Gandum, don't Babylon gandum, Bingi said to fly away, oh, Zion, fly away, oh. Bingi said to fly away, oh, to Zion, fly away. Congo sit down one bright morning, when thy work is over, I will fly away.
Zion.
One bright morning, When that work is over, I will
Shashamani.
yeah, last year,
Last year.
alright, oh good and how pleasant it is for I and I to dwell together in unity. What a great day when I and I people shall be free. I and I the optimist and strong in physical endurance and mental stability and spiritual grace, because I am confident in your victory.
When we call him Rastafari,
Watch out, we can tremble.
he then no like the name. Oh, when we call him Rastafari, watch how we can tremble, he then no like the name. For it's a new name, precious name, new name, Rastafari. New name, precious name, new name, Rastafari. Yell him, Rastafari. Yell him,
Rastafari,
yell him,
Rastafari,
yell him.
Rastafari,
Imperial Majesty, aye.
Rastafari,
Highly Celestia,
Rastafari.
say a new
Name Jagat and in terrible amount, Eden like the name.
yes, a new
Name Jagat and in terrible amount, Eden like the name.
cause when we call him
Rastafari, watch how we can tremble, he didn't know like Jamaica. So when you call him Rastafari, watch how we can tremble, he didn't know like Jamaica.
but it is a
New name, precious name, new name, Rastafari.
Imperial Majesty, Haile Selassie first.
New name, precious name, new name, Rastafari.
And when I look,
Let's
I say, birds
In the treetop,
I just
healing far out.
and
In the garden, everyone bow their head. The Rastaman sit up in eyes, eyes is unto far out. Bingi, why should I? Congo, why should I not hear Rastafari? By the rivers of Babylon, here we sat down, and there we wait. We will remember Zion.
for the wicked.
Carry us away in captivity. Require from us a song.
I am being his son.
How can we sing King Alpha song in a strange land?
For the wicked.
Carry us away in captivity. Require from us a song. How can we sing King Alpha song in a strange land?
Chant down Babylon.
I of our mouth and the agitation of our heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Rastafari. Haile, haile, King. Haile, 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 we don't know pleasant days for a night to get together. So let the words of our mouth and the irritation of our heart be acceptable in thy sight. Oh, tell them full, tell them high. So let the words of my mouth and the irritation of our heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Rastafari. Jah Rastafari, I stand first, strengthen and yes, I would have no representatives for a night to get together. This is the collective unity we are talking about, seeing from strength to strength, seeing I must endure. Yeah!
Our children's meet. I feel Rastafari, Ras Ibi, the house of Rastafari, Rototom, Sunsplash, and all of you, beloved people. One love, one perfect love. Elder, yes, yes, sir. Give him thanks. Give him thanks. Yes, I. Yes, I. More love, more blessings in the house of Rastafari. I think that everybody can be happy today. Yeah. So go back to your things and just give thanks and praises. Full joy the irids of life and be thankful in everything you do. I say, Majesty.